We arrive 20,000 years in the past. The world we see is not our own. It is a planet sculpted by ice, a world of biting wind, of endless frost, and of a profound, ancient silence. This is North America, a continent locked in the grip of the last great ice age, a time of giants, a lost epoch of immense frozen beauty and sudden, brutal danger. This is a world in a different tempo, a slow-motion symphony of geology and cold. The air itself is different, thinner, and so cold it feels sharp, almost solid. The sun is a distant, pale gold ornament, offering little warmth, only light. Here, the land is not shaped by water, but by ice, a colossal frozen force that grinds mountains into dust and carves valleys with indifferent power. To survive here requires more than just endurance. It requires a kind of living magic, an adaptation to an environment that is constantly trying to freeze life in its tracks. This brutal beauty, this immense frozen stage, seems empty, but it is not. This is a land of giants. Here, life endures. But to survive in this cold, life must be colossal. The woolly mammoth, a true titan of the ice. Insulated by a thick coat of shaggy fur and a deep layer of fat, they are living mountains. Their giant curved tusks are not just for show. They are vital tools used to sweep aside the snow and find the frozen grass buried beneath. They were not alone. This was an age of titans. In the frozen forests, the solitary mastodon, a stockier cousin of the mammoth. It was a browser, a specialist in tearing down the tough, frozen branches of spruce and pine. And the giant ground sloth, an impossible creature, weighing as much as an elephant. Rearing up on its hind legs, it could browse on treetops, far beyond the reach of any other. This lost world was an ecosystem of giants. Each colossal species was a master of its own craft. The mammoth, a grazer of the endless frozen steppe. The mastodon, a browser of the dense, icy forests. The giant sloth, a specialist that could reach heights no other could. For thousands of years, they shared this frozen continent, a stable, majestic kingdom of titans. These creatures were masterpieces of evolution, perfectly adapted to the extreme cold. Thick, shaggy coats, dense layers of fat, and sheer, colossal size. In a world of ice, being a giant was not a luxury. It was the ultimate survival strategy. Their massive bodies were living furnaces, generating and trapping heat, allowing them to endure temperatures that would kill smaller creatures in minutes. An entire world, an entire era defined by these colossal creatures. The age of mammoths, mastodons, and sloths. It seemed as though their reign would last forever. But this frozen stage was set for another king. A titan of even greater numbers. A giant that would one day rule these plains in the millions. A creature of fur and silence and immense, powerful grace. But among them walked a titan. A creature draped in fur and in silence. A giant that moved through this world of ice with a different kind of power. A presence that would, in time, come to define this entire continent. A master of the frozen plains. The giant bison, Bison latifrons, the largest bovine that has ever lived. Weighing over 2 tons, it stood more than 8 feet tall at the shoulder, a true colossus of the Pleistocene. But its size was second to its most magnificent feature, its horns. This was not the bison of the modern world. It was an older, heavier, and perhaps more solitary animal. It carried the cold in its very bones, wrapped in a thick, dark mantle of fur. Its immense horns, spanning over 7 feet, were not weapons of aggression, but a silent, noble crown, a symbol of its place in this kingdom of ice. Unlike the mammoth, it was not a specialist of the deep snow, and unlike the mastodon, it did not seek the shelter of the forests. The giant bison was the undisputed master of the plains. Its body was a perfectly tuned engine for surviving on the vast, open, and wind-blasted steppe. Its massive head and powerful neck were used as a living snowplow to find the frozen grasses that fueled its giant body. We can never truly know the world as it saw it. We can only look upon its ancient form and feel a sense of profound, silent awe. A creature born of the ice itself, a symbol of a lost giant world. For 100,000 years, this was the king, the true titan of the Ice Age plains. A new, majestic herd theme begins. This is the first light of a Pleistocene dawn, and the herd is on the move. These giants are not wandering aimlessly. Theirs is an ancient rhythm, a seasonal journey etched into the frozen land, a constant search for food, and a constant movement to survive. In a world where standing still means freezing, to move is to live. Their journey is a constant calculation, energy spent versus energy gained. The giant bison is a master of the open steppe. Its massive head, supported by a mountain of shoulder muscle, is used as a living snowplow, a specialized tool to sweep aside the deep frozen drifts, revealing the dormant but vital cured grasses buried beneath. This is the fuel for the Ice Age Titans. For 100,000 years, this was the rhythm of the frozen world, a world of giants, ruled by the cold, and dominated by these magnificent, thundering herds. Their reign seems eternal, their power absolute. But in this world, even a titan's life is fragile, and the herd's survival depends on a single precious future. In a world of ice, life is a desperate race against the cold. The calf must stand within minutes. It must feed within the hour. The mother's urgent grooming is not just for cleaning. It is a race to dry its fur before the lethal freezing air can steal its warmth. Here, in the heart of the herd, is a small pocket of warmth, a temporary safe haven, shielded from the wind. But this small miracle of life has not gone unnoticed. The scent of a newborn is an invitation. A dire wolf, the great predator of the Ice Age plains, it knows the calf is here. It knows it is weak, and it is hungry. The herd's first great test has begun. The predator's strategy is simple: patience. It will circle and test and wait, hoping for a single fatal mistake. but the herd's defense is more ancient and more powerful. A living fortress of fur and horn, engineered by evolution for one purpose: to protect the future. Every adult a guardian, every horn a spear. They are a single, united mind. The predator's lunge has failed. The fortress holds. Now it becomes a battle of endurance. The patience of the wolf versus the endless, unified vigilance of the herd. For the wolf, this is a missed meal. For the herd, it is a defense of their entire future, and they will not be moved. The first great test is over. The wolf is gone. The cold has been defeated. This is the first vital victory in a life that will be defined by endurance. Here, in the heart of the Ice Age, life is not given, it is earned. It is taken with courage from the very edge of oblivion. Born into ice, built for endurance, life begins for the Colossus. The Ice Age was not an endless winter. It was a world of shifting seasons. And here, on the great frozen steppe, life thrived. This was the kingdom of the grass, an endless golden ocean of nourishment. And for the giant bison, this was paradise. The herds are no longer small family groups, but vast, thundering assemblies. This is their time, the masters of the plains. This is the great engine of the Pleistocene, an endless waving sea of grass. And the colossal 2-ton masters of its consumption, the giant bison. Here in the bright, clear air of the steppe tundra, their herds would gather in numbers that dwarfed all other giants. They are a single, vast grazing machine, a river of life flowing across the golden plains. They are a single organism, a collective mind. When the herd moves, the plain itself seems to move with it. This is not a stampede. It is a slow, relentless, powerful migration, a living tide of fur and muscle. A force of nature, moving to the ancient, silent rhythm of the grass and the wind. But this vast assembly is not an army. It is a city, a thriving, complex society of families. But this golden age is not without conflict. In a society of such immense power, dominance is everything. It is the right to lead, the right to pass on a new generation. And in the bright daylight of the steppe, that right must be proven. Two massive bulls, titans of the herd, begin the ancient, dangerous ritual of combat. This is not a fight to the death. It is a ritual of power, a test of strength and endurance, where the winner proves his genetic superiority. The horns, so wide and massive, are not designed to kill, but to lock and to push. In a contest between titans, the strongest will is the one that does not break. This is the true face of the Ice Age. Not just a world of cold, but a world of power. They are a force like the wind or the ice itself. They carried the memory of glaciers in their blood and the rhythm of the earth beneath their hooves. But in this world of power, dominance is always tested. The right to lead, the right to the future, is not given, it is won. A lifetime of power focused into a single, brutal, and spectacular moment. The clash of the Titans. The battle is over. The challenge is complete. This is the law of the plains, not of chaos, but of order. An order maintained by power, ensuring that only the strongest, most resilient Titans will shape the future of the herd. The unity of the herd is secured by the majesty of its new king. This is their golden age, a time of endless grass and bright daylight. But this is still the Ice Age. The crisp air carries the chill of the great glaciers, a constant, distant presence. These are not just animals of the plain. They are animals of the ice, first and foremost. A truth they carry in their blood. This is the true power of the Ice Age. A living, thundering force, a unity of purpose, a majesty born of survival. They carried the memory of glaciers in their blood and the rhythm of the earth beneath their hooves. This is the kingdom, a perfect, balanced world of grass and Titan, a golden age of majesty and peace. But this kingdom has a dark side. This power did not go unchallenged. The masters of the plains were not the only masters. But this kingdom has a dark side. The great herds, the masters of the plains, were not the only masters. Hiding in the shadows, a different kind of power. A specialist, a killer of giants. Smilodon, the Saber-Toothed Cat. Unlike the wolf, Smilodon was not a creature of endurance. It was an ambush predator. Its entire powerful body, its massive reinforced skull, all evolved for one purpose: a single, catastrophic burst of power. It hunts the young, the old, the unwary. Its weapon is fear, and it only needs one chance. The famous saber-tooth were not for crushing bone. They were surgical tools. A single, catastrophic bite, severing the major arteries. The end is brutal, but it is fast. For the herd, one is lost. For the cat, this is survival. The brutal, precise, and necessary balance of the age of predators. But this story is not over. The predator has won the kill, but it has not won the battle. The herd has stopped running. In a stunning display of courage and collective fury, they are coming back. The Titans are on the attack. The ambush killer is now the one being ambushed. It is built for a single catastrophic burst of power, not a war. Against a single isolated target, it is a god. Against the collective, vengeful power of the herd, it is nothing. And it knows it.
The hunter becomes the hunted. This is the true power of the herd. Not just their size, but their courage, their willingness to face down the most terrifying predator on the continent, to defend their own. The predator has been defeated, but the cost is still painfully real. In the age of predators, to be this large, to be this powerful, was a given. Strength was the price of entry. But strength alone was not enough to survive, not in this world. The Titans of the ice possessed another weapon. It was a weapon that could turn a stampede of fear into a charge of fury. It could make a lone 2-ton bull defy the most dangerous predators on Earth and win. It was a weapon of the spirit. Strength was not their only weapon. It was courage, an iron-willed defiance, a collective spirit forged in an age of fear. A courage that could only be born from the cold. It was a furious, defiant spirit, as harsh, as elemental as the cold itself. A courage that allowed them to not just survive the Ice Age, but to master it. kingdom lasts forever. After 100,000 years, the great cold began to break. The air grew warm, and the ice, the very foundation of their world, began to disappear. The world was not just changing, it was unraveling. The world, once hard, frozen, and predictable, was now soft, wet, and chaotic. New, violent rivers, fed by the melting ice, carved new valleys and drowned old ones. The land itself was losing its footing, and for the masters of the frozen plain, the new, soft, wet ground was a betrayer. The bison's body was a masterpiece, evolved for a cold, hard world. Their massive hooves, perfect for walking on hard, frozen ground, were now a liability, sinking deep into the mud. But the water was not the only enemy. The rising warmth brought a new, green, silent invader: the forest. The endless open plains were vanishing, choked by a new, dense woodland, a world where a giant with a 7-foot crown could no longer pass. The great mammoth steppe, the endless golden field of nourishment, was disappearing. In its place, a new, wet, soggy tundra, a world of desaturated green mosses, vegetation that could not support a 2-ton giant. The new world was a green desert. The grasslands were vanishing. The new, dense forests were a prison. Their greatest evolutionary weapon, their massive horns, were now a fatal liability. And the endless plains, their source of food, their arena of life, their place of safety, were gone. The grasslands had vanished. Had changed. The rules had changed. In this new, wet, closed world, their strength was useless. Their courage was irrelevant. Their magnificent horns were a fatal flaw. The age of the giant was over. The grasslands had vanished, and the forests had become their tomb. This is how a world ends. Not with a bang, but with a slow, silent fading. The great thundering herds of the Golden Age, the rivers of fur, were broken. The endless herds grew smaller and smaller. The air grew warm. The ground grew soft. The world they had mastered, the hard, cold, golden kingdom of their ancestors, was now a memory, a ghost drowned by a new, wet, and hostile planet. And so, the Titans began to fade. One by one, herd by herd, a great, silent, thundering power simply vanished from the world. The world was broken. The giant's reign was over. But the bison were not the only creatures struggling in this new, chaotic world. Another had just arrived. This new predator was small and weak, but it had a new kind of power, and it too was hungry. The air is warmer, the world is softer, but the titans of the ice cannot adapt. The great thundering herds are now just a handful. A ghost, a memory, walking on a dying, pale brown-gray plain. But in their blood is one final ancient instinct: to move. The Titan was fading. But it was not alone in its struggle. The ancient hunters had arrived. They too were survivors of the ice, and in this new, broken world, they too were hungry. And the last, weak, dwindling herd was their only hope. The cat had claws. The bull had horns. But the human possessed a new, terrifying power. The power to carry the sun. A weapon of fire. For the last dwindling herd, there is no escape. Trapped, weak, and facing a predator they cannot understand. A predator that commands the fire. This is the final desperate charge. This is the last stand. The rain had replaced the snow. The spear had replaced the claw. The world no longer had a place for a titan. The herd, trapped, weak, and broken, could only wait for the end. The great herds broke apart, one storm at a time. A lineage of 100,000 years, a power that had once shaken the earth, was now just a memory, a ghost walking in the mist. The great herds broke apart, one storm at a time, until the final herd disappears into the mist. 7 feet. A span wider than a modern human is tall. An animal built on a scale that is almost impossible to comprehend. A creature not of myth or legend, but real. A king whose crown we can finally touch. But why? Why evolve a weapon of such impossible scale? The answer is written in the bone. The horns are not sharp, they are blunt. They are covered in scars, not from predators, but from each other. This was not a weapon of defense. It was a crown, a tool of combat for the right to rule. We can never truly know the world they lived in. We can only hold these bones and listen to the stories that they tell. A story of a power, an age, and a majesty that is almost beyond our imagination. from the soil of a vanished world, from the mud and the rain and the mist, the Titan returns. No longer a ghost, but a story written in bone. The age of giants is gone. The thundering herds are silent. But from the soil of a vanished world, their memory endures in stone. The stone endures, but the story does not end there. For the giant left a legacy, a new life, smaller, changed, but alive. The modern American bison, the living legacy of the ice. Smaller, yes, but carrying the strength of their ancestors.
The giant bison, a legend carved in ice, remembered in life.